It smelled like dead, rotten skin.
Nature's deadliest organisms.
It felt like a knife being driven through my spine.
They can hijack our bodies.
For a father to see his son withering away, it killed me.
Disable our immune systems.
Sometimes, this infection can be fatal.
And eat us from within.
It was terrifying to think that I'm just watching him die.
For those infected, they are the monsters inside me.
The whole crowd just gasped, and there's just silence, and everyone was watching, and then, I said yes.
It was just a surreal moment. I just wanted to be in it forever.
For 2 months, the couple travels through the Peruvian Amazon.
We did some bird watching, which is incredible, and then we've been hiking for about 9 hours now, so yeah, we just have had a great day.
Their next stop is Bolivia, where they take an off-road tour of the Great Salt Flats.
You could look out over all the salt flats and see the clouds perfectly reflected. I had my head out the window taking pictures, and then I caught my reflection in the rearview mirror, and I just noticed I had this pimple on my cheek. I kind of scratched at it a little bit, did a little squeeze to see if it would pop, but it was just hardened and almost a scab.
We assumed that it was just a pimple, just from not showering and sleeping in dirty hostels. We really didn't think about it much.
3 weeks later, Adam and Shaylin are in a hostel in Cochabamba, Bolivia.
The pimple grew to the size of a small pea, and it had a little scab on it. It was starting to look a little gross. I was frustrated that it hadn't gone away yet.
We were thinking this pimple is infected somehow. So Adam put on this antibiotic ointment.
When I put the antibiotic ointment on, the pimple started oozing a little bit. I thought that it was starting to heal, and it would go away in a few days.
Next, they make their way to Oruro, Bolivia, to join the festivities of the Carnival of Oruro. Adam and Shaylin spend all day partying and don't get back to their hotel room until late that night.
We had a crazy night. The next day I woke up with just a terrible hangover. I just had a bad headache. I went to the bathroom and tried to freshen up and splash some water in my face. I looked up in the mirror. I couldn't believe what happened. The pimple had exploded overnight. It was just this open crater about the size of a nickel. It was indented into my face, and it looked raw, and it looked angry.
It was oozing, and it really didn't look good. I knew that this was something pretty serious that was going to take more than antibiotics.
Adam dresses the wound with a bandage, and later that day, they visit a local clinic.
The doctor cleaned it with some alcohol formula, and she swiped it with a little cotton swab.
The doctor just thought it was a bacterial infection. She gave him all sorts of antibiotics, a shot, several pills, and an ointment. We were hoping the wound should start healing up.
The couple continue on their Odyssey tour. 3 weeks later, they're wrapping up their travels in a hostel in Chile.
We were backing up our photos, and we were looking through some of them, and we noticed that my face had gotten more swollen as the pictures became more and more recent.
I knew that this was a serious issue. I was very concerned.
Shaylin wanted me to see a doctor, but I just wanted to enjoy what time we had left. So I just decided to wait it out until we got back to the U.S.
A week later, they return home, and Adam sees his general practitioner, Dr. Stephen Ames of Thurston Medical Clinic.
Adam came in with a wound on the right side of his face. It was firm, but soft and mushy in the middle. I was concerned that this was a staph infection.
Staph infections are caused by the Staphylococcus bacteria. When the bacteria enter the body, the bacteria release toxins that destroy the surrounding skin cells, creating a pus-filled wound. Staph infections are common in crowded public areas with poor sanitation and are highly contagious. But that's not Dr. Ames' primary concern.
The staph can enter the bloodstream. Then it can infect multiple organs and can cause him to die.
I was really scared. I didn't think that I could die from it.
We felt pretty beaten down. We'd come back from our trip and we're ready to plan our wedding and move on with our lives, and now we're dealing with a potentially fatal infection.
To confirm the diagnosis, Adam's doctor takes a tissue sample and sends it to the lab for culturing. For a week, Adam takes penicillin, but to no effect. So Adam returns to Dr. Ames to get the results of his culture.
The culture results did not show evidence of a staph infection.
I was frustrated and disparaged that it was another week of not knowing.
As the days go by, the bizarre infection continues to grow.
We have no idea what this thing is on his face. It's getting larger and larger every day, and we don't know where it's going to stop. It's encroaching his eye. It was pretty frightening.
This case was puzzling. I could not figure it out, so I referred him to a specialist.
Adam must wait 4 days before visiting an infectious disease doctor, and the appointment can't come soon enough. The day before the appointment, he is at home with Shaylin.
I was eating lunch with Shaylin, and I started developing a sore throat. I could barely swallow what I was eating. It really made it feel like sandpaper was rubbing up against it, and it made it feel more and more raw.
So I looked in the back of his throat with the flashlight, and I could see there were these large white bumps, and the back of the throat just looked malformed. It was terrifying.
I thought, well, I shouldn't be getting any sort of sickness because I'm taking all these medicines. I felt like my body was breaking down.
I was concerned that this wound in the back of his throat could turn into something like his face and affect his breathing ability and his vocal ability. It was terrifying to think that I'm just watching him die.
After a 6-month odyssey across South America, newly engaged Adam Spencer has returned home to Veneta, Oregon, with a massive wound across his face. And it seems the medicines he's taking are powerless to stop it.
I felt like my body was breaking down.
His wound had grown to about 2 inches. It was really scary.
Adam and Shaylin visit infectious disease specialist Dr. William Muth of Samaritan Infectious Disease in Corvallis, Oregon.
Adam presented with a disfiguring sore on his cheek. There are a number of infections that could have been, but the fact that Adam had this rather dramatic lesion on his cheek and he had spent time in South America made me think that this could be cutaneous leishmaniasis.
Cutaneous leishmaniasis is a disease caused by an organism called leishmania. Leishmania is a single-celled parasite that enters the body through the skin. The body sends immune cells to attack the parasite, but the parasites fight back, penetrating the immune cells, feeding off of them, and then reproducing inside them. As the parasites multiply, they devastate the surrounding tissue, causing hideous sores on the skin.
I'm a young guy, and to really just get stopped in your tracks by a microscopic parasite, I was worried about how far it would go.
Dr. Muth continues to examine Adam and encounters something disconcerting.
Adam also had a swollen lymph node on the right side of his neck, not too far from the skin sore, and that itself could indicate that this infection was spreading.
The doctor looked in my throat, and he thought that I might have mucocutaneous leishmaniasis.
Mucocutaneous leishmaniasis is a rare form of the disease that destroys the soft tissue of the mouth, nose, and throat.
Mucocutaneous leishmaniasis can be very disfiguring, and when it's not treated, could be deadly.
We had already waited so long to get an answer of what this was. And now knowing that this is a fatal parasite, I was really, really scared.
I became really afraid that it was already strong enough that I could die from it.
It was really scary because this would travel to his nose, to his eyes, and eventually kill him. The thought of him dying, it was really terrifying.
Before they can prescribe the proper medication, doctors extract a sample from the inside of Adam's throat and send it to the Center for Disease Control to confirm the exact species. But the results can take weeks. During this time, Adam keeps a video blog.
I feel tired a lot, so I'm excited to go to bed, but then it kind of sucks because I have to pick the oozing around it, and then it might ooze it during the night, and I haven't been sleeping well.
His face just got so much worse. The wound was growing faster and faster. It was oozing constantly. It affected every part of his life. He couldn't eat. He couldn't breathe without pain. It was really, really scary.
I was worried, was my face ever going to look the same again? There's nothing I could do. I was essentially helpless, waiting for the treatment to begin.
To cheer himself up, he plays soccer with his friends.
I was just playing soccer, and I tried to trap it, and there's a bounce stop. And got hit in this region here, and it's kind of coming out now.
A week later, Shaylin discovers something new.
2 new lesions popped up on his back. So we knew that it had gone systemic. It was a really, really hard time.
Every time I looked in the mirror, I couldn't believe what I saw. I was beginning to worry that I would maybe lose the ability to talk as well. This parasite had taken my dreams and stomped on them.
A week later, the CDC confirms the diagnosis. Adam does have a severe case of mucocutaneous leishmaniasis. So they permit Adam to take a powerful drug called amphotericin B.
At this point, I was just ready. Just get rid of this. I want to start treatment. I've been waiting long enough.
Adam begins a 21-day intravenous treatment. But how exactly did Adam contract this deadly parasite?
The leishmaniasis parasite is transmitted by a tiny insect called a sandfly. The leishmania parasites mature in the gut of an infected sandfly. And when the sandfly bites a human, it regurgitates those parasites into the skin. When an uninfected sandfly bites an infected host, the cycle continues.
Leishmaniasis is mostly found in Asia, the Middle East, Southern Europe, and South America.
I was photographing along the riverbank back when we were living in the Peruvian Amazon. I was getting bitten by dozens of sandflies.
The bites were noticeable and itchy for about 3 days, and after that, we kind of forgot about it.
This was the day I'd gotten leishmaniasis.
Then, after 5 days of treatment, Adam notices an improvement.
My throat had completely healed, which was just so relieving. I could eat again. I mean, I could breathe and I could talk.
I felt so happy for him that he finally had a positive result and something to show that he was beating this parasite.
11 days later, things are looking up for Adam.
I have 5 days left of the 21-day treatment, and now I feel like it's reverting finally. And it just feels good to, like, feel the improvement and to not feel sad about having a big puffy face and, like, feeling swollen and having a sore throat. So I feel more productive, I feel more social, and just doing a lot better and happier. Yay!
But Adam's battle is far from over.
I'm still dealing with the parasite today. We had to put the wedding plans on hold because I had a flesh-eating parasite on my face. So we're going to get married next summer and just hope that the wound will be healed, but I'm going to have a huge scar.
Scar or no scar, he's the most handsome man that I know.
Shaylin's been incredibly supportive throughout the whole process. As far as how I look or how I'm going to look with the scar, I know that that's not going to affect Shaylin whatsoever.
To prevent infection from leishmaniasis, travelers to Asia, the Middle East, Southern Europe, and South America should use DEET-based insect repellent to avoid being bitten by sandflies.
It felt like a knife being driven through my spine.
He might go into septic shock, which can end up in death.
"29-year-old Jeremiah Taylor lives with his newfound love, Dana Lavertu, in Summerlin, California.
I met Dana while we were both working at the homeless shelter together. I admired her, and obviously I was very physically attracted to her.
I thought he was really sweet and had really good work ethics, and we had a lot in common.
Together, they share a love of tattoos, motorcycling, and unconventional pets.
I had had rats in the past, and when I discovered that she had had rats as well, we decided to get rats together.
It was really exciting because we knew that we had just one more thing in common.
It was a really small step in a relationship, but it was something that we had that kind of added to a family element. We had our new place together, we had our pets, everything was going great.
"7 months into their relationship, there is a turn of events at work.
The homeless shelter was getting a new computer system put in the facility. I came to work in the morning and noticed there was multiple computer towers on the floor in my office. I just had to move them out of the way to get to my desk. After lifting the third computer tower, I felt a really sharp shooting pain in my back. I thought that I had just tweaked my back and that it was just gonna heal on its own. I just took it easy for the rest of the day and went home.
Later that night, Jeremiah and Dana are in bed.
I had a really rough night's sleep. I just couldn't get comfortable. My lower back just felt like it had a sharp shooting pain, like a stabbing pain.
I could feel him tossing and turning in the bed. I felt really bad seeing him in that much pain.
After a sleepless night, Jeremiah visits a doctor.
The doctor examined my back and pushed on spots to see where the pain was. He informed me that it was just a common lower back strain. The doctor prescribed me a pain reliever and a muscle relaxer. I was relieved that he gave me the prescription because it gave me hope that I'd be able to sleep at night.
But the prescription pills don't quell the pain. On the third night, the couple are in bed together when Jeremiah reaches his breaking point.
I woke up at 3 in the morning with sharp pain in my back. It felt like a knife being driven through my spine. I was in so much pain, I just felt like screaming.
And the next morning, matters go from bad to worse.
My body was shaking uncontrollably, and I couldn't stop. It felt like my body was convulsing. It scared the heck out of me.
It was really hard to see him shaking because there was nothing that I could do. I was really worried for Jeremiah.
Jeremiah tries to push through the pain. But after 3 more days, he and Dana return to the doctor, who orders an X-ray of Jeremiah's back.
I had the X-ray done, and everything was normal. But immediately after, I went to put my sandal on, and I noticed dozens of little red dots all over the bottom of both my feet. I was freaked out. We noticed that they were all over my hands as well. I was scared because I didn't know what was happening to my body. The doctor said that they looked like popped capillaries.
The doctor thinks Jeremiah is likely experiencing an allergic reaction to the muscle relaxer and recommends he stop taking them.
He thought that they should probably go away in a couple days.
The doctor advises Jeremiah to take over-the-counter painkillers instead. Jeremiah takes the medication. Then things come to a head at home.
I woke up and I felt like somebody had hit the top of my hand with a hammer. Anytime I moved my hand or flexed my fingers, the pain got really sharp. I felt like it was something out of a movie.
Now we were really thinking it had to be something more serious than just a back injury. It was really scary.
Within minutes, Jeremiah notices the pain is spreading.
My wrists were creeping in towards my body, and I couldn't straighten my arm out, and I couldn't straighten my wrist. It really scared me. I was thinking, what the heck is going on with my body?
Jeremiah Taylor is a 29-year-old homeless shelter facilities manager who recently injured his back at work. For a week, he took painkillers and a muscle relaxer, but they had no effect. Then one morning, he woke up to a bizarre symptom.
My wrists were creeping in towards my body, and I couldn't straighten my arm out, and I couldn't straighten my wrist.
That's when we decided it was time to go back to the doctors.
The doctor examines Jeremiah's hands and performs a biopsy on the red bumps. He prescribes steroids to reduce the swelling in his hands and wrists for the next week. But Jeremiah continues to live in agony. A week later, he returns to his doctor.
The results of my skin biopsy were in. The doctor said that the bumps were vasculitis.
Vasculitis is a term to describe an inflammation of the blood vessels. Jeremiah's have become inflamed and started to rupture, causing the red lesions on the surface of the skin. The inflammation itself could be caused by a number of things: allergic reactions, autoimmune disorders, even cancer.
I was afraid that it was something that they weren't going to be able to treat, and maybe I was going to die.
Jeremiah is referred to rheumatologist Dr. Timothy Spiegel of Cottage Hospital in Santa Barbara.
I was concerned. He was a 29-year-old, sick-appearing man who was frightened because he couldn't understand and we couldn't understand what was going on. One of the concerns I had was Jeremiah has multiple tattoos. Tattoos could lead to a subcutaneous infection if there were bacteria or infection from the needle itself.
If a contaminated tattoo needle pierces the skin, bacteria can infect the skin and spread to the bones and joints. In extreme cases, the infection can become septic and affect the whole body. Dr. Spiegel orders an MRI of his lumbar spine and a nuclear bone scan of his hands. But the MRI and bone scan don't show any signs of infection.
Test after test, they kept coming back negative. I felt like we were wasting more time.
The case was puzzling because he had more than we would expect from simply back pain.
So Dr. Spiegel orders more blood cultures and discharges Jeremiah while they wait for the results. The next day, he gets a call from the lab.
There were organisms growing in his blood cultures.
Dr. Spiegel refers Jeremiah to another doctor, infectious disease specialist Dr. Marie Louise Scully.
I was notified that Jeremiah was growing bacteria in his blood. It had special characteristics under the microscope. It had a tendency to form clumps.
But the lab is having difficulties identifying the bacteria. To unravel the mystery, Dr. Scully meets with Jeremiah and Dana and gets an extensive history.
A typical question, of course, is whether anybody has any pets.
I told Dr. Scully that I had 2 pet rats.
Light bulbs went off in my mind thinking about possible rodent-associated infectious diseases. But one in particular stood out based on the symptoms Jeremiah was having.
Dr. Scully notifies the lab about Jeremiah's pet rats and sends them more blood cultures. The lab is finally able to grow the bacteria, and the results are in.
Jeremiah had rat bite fever.
Rat bite fever is a disease caused by the bacterium Streptobacillus maniliformis. The Streptobacillus maniliformis bacteria infected Jeremiah's bloodstream, inflaming the blood vessels, causing the vasculitis. Then the bacteria spread to the soft tissue lining Jeremiah's joints, causing him joint pain.
The bacterium Streptobacillus maniliformis makes its home in the respiratory systems of many rodents. Rat bite fever occurs when an infected rodent bites a human. Sometimes, this infection can be fatal.
If this bacteria travels to the heart, he might go into septic shock, which can end up in death.
When Dr. Scully told me it could turn fatal, it scared the hell out of me. Maybe I was gonna die.
Homeless shelter facilities manager Jeremiah Taylor just found out that he has rat bite fever. If the infection spreads to his heart, it could kill him.
It scared the hell out of me. Maybe I was gonna die.
Dr. Scully and a team of doctors must examine Jeremiah's heart for infection with the Streptobacillus maniliformis bacteria before it's too late.
A probe is put down into Jeremiah's esophagus, and we use sound waves to then look directly at the heart valves for any sign of damage and/or infection.
I was really scared for him because I wasn't sure if he was able to get better from it or not.
I was really worried that they were gonna find the bacteria had already made its way to my heart.
But Dr. Scully has some good news. His heart is unaffected by the bacteria. To combat the spreading infection, Dr. Scully guides a PICC line from a vein in his arm to an area near his heart and administers an antibiotic called ertapenem. But how did Jeremiah contract this deadly disease?
We play with our rats all the time. We bring them out every day, bring them on the couch, watch movies together, and I'd kiss them.
This, of course, would expose him to infected saliva. This organism is more typically associated with rat bites, but it can occur from just handling rodents and/or exposure to their urine or feces.
Dr. Scully told us that we should get rid of our rats.
But ditching their rats is not an option for Jeremiah and Dana. The couple have their own pet theory.
Dana and I were pretty confident that our rats were not infected. Things just didn't add up. Dana wasn't experiencing any symptoms, nor were the rats.
A week before Jeremiah had his first symptoms, we were asked to clean out storage bins at work. The storage bins were completely disgusting.
The storage bins were covered in rat feces. I could have gotten some of this rat feces in my eye or in my mouth somehow. It grossed me out to think that that's how I got this bacteria inside my body.
After 5 days of treatment, he starts to improve.
Jeremiah noticed improvements in his joint pains, and also the rash he had started to disappear.
I started getting a glimmer of hope and feeling that I was actually on the road to recovery.
But recovery without his pets seems unbearable.
Dana and I decided to get our rats tested to ease our minds and to prove to the doctors that they weren't infected. After my treatment, we found out that my rats were negative for rat bite fever.
We were ecstatic because we realized that we were able to keep our pet rats, Maggie and Sandy.
I love the rats. I wouldn't trade them for anything.
Rat bite fever in humans is very rare in the US. There have only been about 200 reported cases in the past 100 years. To prevent infection, people should avoid contact with rats or rat-contaminated dwellings. Owners of pet rodents should use good hand hygiene after handling the animals. And anyone bitten by a rat should seek immediate medical attention.
I started shaking his whole body. I couldn't get him to wake up.
For a father to see his son withering away, it killed me.
It's early fall in Oildale, California. Monica Blake and Andy Rost have their hands full raising their 4 children, Tori, Stephen, Brianna, and Tyler. They're a tight-knit family who...
Only a big football family.
Football was something to keep them off the streets and to give them something that made them happy.
I loved watching them score, watching them run the ball. I'm very proud of my children.
But a few weeks into the football season, Tyler is faced with a very different kind of opponent.
We were in the bleachers waiting for Tyler. He really wanted to win the game that day.
He forced a fumble and then picked it up and scored a touchdown. Yeah, I was proud and excited and happy for him.
To celebrate, Tyler spends the night at a friend's house.
The next morning, Tyler came home early with a headache. He just wanted to lie down and go back to sleep. Tyler hardly ever got sick, so I thought it was unusual that he was complaining about a headache.
I thought maybe he had just stayed up too late at his friend's house and was just a little beat up from the game the day before. I told him to lay down and get some rest.
Tyler spends the entire day in bed.
He just kept grabbing his head, saying that it was pounding. He said that there was a lot of pain behind his eyes.
Tyler's not usually the person that would say he was sick. So I got really worried.
His mother gives Tyler some over-the-counter painkillers for his headache. But the next morning, Monica and Tori find Tyler still in bed.
He was moaning and crying, and he was holding his head. He was complaining about his back and his head hurting. If you touched him too hard, he would cry and say that it hurt.
He was saying that he couldn't hardly move his neck or his back. I asked him to try to touch his chin to his chest. He could barely even move his head down. It was really starting to scare me.
Monica and Tori rush Tyler to the hospital.
The doctors immediately started examining him. They was trying to get him to move his neck up and down. They tried to pull his knees to his chest. When the doctors saw that he couldn't, they started to get more worried.
The doctor orders a spinal tap. After the procedure, the doctor meets with Tyler's family.
And the doctor said that he had spinal meningitis.
Spinal meningitis is the inflammation of the lining of the spinal cord. If left untreated, it can be fatal.
I have heard of severe cases of it, and I was scared because this time it was my son.
The doctors admit Tyler and treat him with antibiotics. But 4 days later, Tyler continues to feel ill in the hospital.
Tyler complained about his headache, and I was very concerned. But the doctor told us that he would be fine.
Tyler is sent home to recover.
He told me that he'd never felt this bad before. He'd just say, "Can you rub my head?" Because that was the only thing that would help. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know what to think about the situation.
I was so upset. I wasn't sure exactly what was going on with him.
But the doctors do have some advice for Tyler's family.
The doctor said that he should start moving around because the more that he moves around, the less stiff his back would be.
I tried to get him to sit up or help me do laundry, but he would only do anything for 5 minutes, and then he'd be right back on the couch laying down.
Keen to encourage her son to get back on his feet, the following Monday, Monica sends Tyler to school. But 2 hours later, she receives a phone call.
I got a call from the nurse stating that he had a fever of 104. He was saying that he couldn't hardly move his neck or his back. At that point, I realized that something was still seriously wrong.
I was scared that what Tyler had was getting worse. It took everything out of me.
Monica rushes Tyler back to the hospital. Doctors pull Tyler's charts from the previous visit and examine him.
They figured at this point that it was just side effects from having meningitis. The doctors told me that he was still in so much pain because he still needed to be on pain medication. They gave him a steroid injection, a muscle relaxer, and a morphine injection all into his back.
The injection seems to work, and later that afternoon, Tyler is discharged. The next morning, Monica checks up on him.
When I walked into the room, his hands were clenched to the bars on the bed frame. His lip was swollen and bleeding. So I started shaking his whole body. I started yelling his name. My heart was pounding. I couldn't get him to wake up.
Monica Blake and Andy Rost's eldest son, Tyler, has been suffering severe headaches and back pain for a week. Then one morning, Monica tries to wake up her son.
I couldn't get him to wake up.
I freaked out. I lost it. I didn't know if he was gonna be okay or if he was gonna come out of it.
It scared the hell out of me.
Monica calls 911. When the paramedics arrive, they tell the family that Tyler has had a seizure. Tyler is rushed to the hospital. When he gets there, he's still unconscious.
They were trying to wake him up. I was really unsure of what was even going on with him. I was scared at this point. He was in a coma and he was on life support.
I felt completely helpless.
Tests show that the pressure on his brain from the spinal fluid is abnormally high. To relieve the pressure, surgeons drill a hole in the top of his skull and insert an external shunt to drain the excess cerebrospinal fluid. Doctors send the fluids to the labs for testing. 24 hours later, they get the results.
The doctor said that he had valley fever.
Valley fever is an infection caused by a fungus called Coccidioides immitis. The fungus is airborne and probably entered Tyler's body through his air passages. The spores reproduce in the lungs before traveling to the membrane that surrounds Tyler's brain, causing massive inflammation or meningitis.
It really scared me when I found out that this fungus was attacking his brain. It's something that you would never expect to happen.
Dr. Royce Johnson is the chief of infectious disease at Kern Medical Center in Bakersfield, California.
For most individuals that are diagnosed with valley fever, the prognosis is quite good. But unfortunately, if you have bad luck, a small number of people have severe or devastating disease. You can have severe pneumonia and die of respiratory failure, or you can get meningitis, which can be fatal.
I was just asking, what could it be? What could cause it? Where could he have gotten it from?
The fungus Coccidioides immitis lives in the soil of semi-arid regions, including the southwestern United States. When the soil gets disturbed, it kicks the fungal spores into the air, and that can allow the fungus to infect anyone who inhales them.
And in football, there are plenty of kids kicking up dust.
The doctors think that he became infected during games or during practices, being outdoors, and was inhaling large amounts of spores.
In an attempt to save Tyler's life, doctors administer antifungal medication directly through the shunt in his brain. But Tyler shows no signs of improvement.
The fungus kept causing problems and getting thicker no matter what treatments they tried.
It killed me.
Monica Blake and Andy Ross' 12-year-old son, Tyler, had a seizure and was rushed to the hospital. There, doctors discovered a deadly fungus attacking the lining of his brain.
He just kept looking worse and worse every day. It killed me watching him lay in that bed.
It's harder to get drugs that'll kill fungi without hurting people. Antifungals slow down fungal replication, but you can't get rid of them easily.
For 6 weeks, doctors pumped the antifungal drugs through his body. But in spite of their efforts, Tyler suffers a series of strokes.
For a father to see his son go from a 12-year-old stud to withering away, it killed me.
Finally, doctors present Tyler's family with a terrible decision.
The doctors came to us and said that they've tried everything. We didn't want to see him suffer any more than he already had. It's one of the hardest decisions that I've ever had to make. We decided to stop the treatment.
4 days later, Monica and Andy must endure a moment no parent ever wants to face.
We pushed the chairs right next to his bed, and I held his hand, Monica held his hand, you know, rubbed his face.
And we keep his memory alive by lighting a candle every single day until we go to bed.
It's estimated that up to 1/2 of people living in endemic areas have had valley fever at some point in their lives. Most people recover, but less than 1% of people who get valley fever die from it. People should be aware that windy, dusty conditions in the southwestern United States can stir up high concentrations of the fungus into the air. If there's any suspicion of infection, seek immediate medical attention.
Have you ever felt a little off after drinking water first thing in the morning? Maybe you felt bloated, lightheaded, or even a bit queasy. If so, you're not alone. Many people unknowingly make simple mistakes when hydrating in the morning that can make them feel worse, especially as we get older. And let's be real, we all know that hydration is key to feeling energized, but what if we're doing it wrong? In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 5 common mistakes most people make when drinking water in the morning. The truth is, what worked in your 30s or 40s might not be the best choice in your 60s or beyond. Our bodies change, and our hydration habits need to evolve with them. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how to hydrate the right way and avoid making these all too common mistakes. I'll share simple but impactful changes that can make your mornings feel smoother and help you start your day with a little more energy and clarity. Whether it's the temperature of your water or the way you drink it, these small adjustments could make a world of difference. So, if you want to feel better in the morning, boost your energy, and ensure you're taking care of your body the right way, stick around. You might be surprised by just how much your morning hydration routine can affect your day-to-day well-being. Don't miss these easy but effective tips. Your body will thank you. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0. to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Mistake number 1. Drinking ice-cold water on an empty stomach. Let me ask you something that might hit close to home. Have you ever taken that refreshing gulp of cold water first thing in the morning, only to feel your stomach twist uncomfortably or even experience a chill running down your chest? And maybe you've even felt a lightheadedness or a headache creeping up soon after. Most of us tend to brush it off, thinking it's just a passing moment or something unrelated. But here's something you may not realize. That icy water you're drinking on an empty stomach, especially first thing in the morning, is a shock to your system, one that your body is not quite prepared for. When we sleep, our bodies enter a quiet, restorative state. It's almost like a gentle pause in the chaos of the world. Our organs slow down, our digestive systems take a break, and our blood vessels naturally constrict a little. It's not a bad thing. It's how we heal and restore ourselves overnight. But then, morning arrives, and instead of gently waking our bodies up with warmth or even a calm stretch, we slam it with a glass of cold water. Imagine hitting the brakes on a car that's still warming up. Doesn't feel too good, does it? It's like giving your body a jolt, causing your stomach muscles to contract, your blood vessels to narrow even more, and your body to go into overdrive, all before it's fully awake. And for older adults, This sudden stress can be even more taxing because our bodies don't recover as quickly from that kind of shock anymore. When we were younger, we may have found that cold water was invigorating, like a quick wake-up call that made us feel alive. But as we get older, our metabolism slows down, and our circulation becomes more sensitive. Our bodies just can't handle extremes the way they used to. That once refreshing ice-cold water can make us feel worse, not better. It's not that water is inherently bad for you. It's the temperature that's the issue. At that time of day, when your body is still adjusting from the relaxed, slower pace of sleep, cold water can be too much of a shock to your system. Let me tell you about Eleanor, someone who, like many of us, thought she was doing the right thing by drinking ice-cold water every morning. Eleanor is 76, still sharp as ever, and she used to love that chilly drink. She swore it helped her clear her throat and jumpstart her day. But over time, she began noticing that her hands felt cold, her stomach would cramp up, and she just didn't feel right. Her digestion was sluggish, and mornings became more of a struggle. It wasn't until her doctor recommended switching to room temperature water that things started to change. Within just a week, Eleanor's mornings felt completely different. No more stomach cramps or cold hands. She felt more balanced, more at ease, and her digestion wasn't sluggish anymore. It was a small, simple change, letting the water sit out or using lukewarm water, but it made all the difference in her day. And that's a powerful reminder. Just because something worked for us in the past doesn't mean it will keep working forever. Our bodies deserve more tenderness now. After all, they've been carrying us through decades of life, with all its ups and downs. The least we can do is offer them a gentler, more considerate approach when it comes to something as simple as drinking water. So, if you're in the habit of reaching for that ice-cold glass first thing in the morning, maybe take a moment to consider switching to room temperature water. Try it for a few days and see how your body responds. You might be amazed at how much more comfortable and peaceful your mornings could feel. Your body has earned that gentleness. Mistake number 2. Drinking water too fast or in big gulps. I get it. The temptation to gulp down that glass of water as soon as you wake up is real. You're parched, your mouth feels like the Sahara, and the thought of just knocking it back to quench your thirst feels satisfying, almost like a little victory. You think, get it over with, right? But here's the problem. When you drink too quickly, especially right after waking up, you're not doing your body any favors. You might be throwing your entire system out of whack without even realizing it. Let me paint the picture. When you first open your eyes in the morning, your body is still transitioning from its restful state. Your heart is gradually picking up speed, your blood pressure is adjusting to a new day, and your stomach hasn't fully woken up yet. It's like your body is still stretching and yawning, trying to find its groove after hours of rest. And then, without warning, you down a whole glass of water in a single go. That rush of water can shock your system. The sudden influx can cause your stomach to expand too quickly, leading to bloating, nausea, dizziness, or even a strange flutter in your chest. Some of you might think, what is going on? I only drank water. But the real culprit isn't the water itself, it's how fast you're drinking it. The truth is, when you chug your water too quickly, your body doesn't get a chance to adjust. The kidneys, which are meant to process fluids slowly and steadily, go into overdrive to deal with the sudden influx. Your electrolyte balance, which is so delicate, gets thrown out of sync, and that can mess with your entire system. This is especially true for older adults, whose bodies tend to be more sensitive to such rapid changes. It's like setting off a chain reaction that leaves you feeling unbalanced and off for the rest of the day. I want to share a story that drives this home. Walter, a 72-year-old retired coach, used to have a habit of waking up and drinking an entire bottle of water before even getting out of bed. He thought it was a great thing to do, healthy, disciplined, something he could feel good about. But here's the kicker. On some mornings, he'd suddenly feel lightheaded and dizzy, and it just didn't sit right with him. It didn't happen every time, but enough to make him concerned. After chatting with his doctor, They pieced it together. It wasn't his health, it wasn't his age, it was the speed and volume of the water intake. His body simply wasn't given enough time to adjust to the sudden shock of all that liquid at once. The solution: a simple shift in how he drank water. He decided to sip slowly, stretching it out over 15 to 20 minutes, instead of gulping it all at once. The results were nothing short of remarkable. The dizziness vanished. His mornings felt more peaceful, his energy was steadier, and his day just flowed better overall. No need for heavy medications or complicated changes, just a small adjustment in how he approached his water intake. That small change made all the difference. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Here's something I want you to think about for a second. Your body doesn't want a flood when you wake up. It wants a gentle stream. It's begging for you to treat it with care. So, next time, instead of rushing through that glass, try slowing down. Sit up, take a deep breath, and savor each sip. Give your body the time it needs to wake up, to process, to hydrate without overwhelming it. You don't have to race against the clock. It's a moment to care for yourself. If you've been rushing through your water in the mornings, just slow it down tomorrow and pay attention to how it feels. Sometimes, the smallest change can make the most profound difference in how your body responds. We all deserve a little more mindfulness in our mornings, don't we? Mistake number 3, drinking from plastic bottles left out overnight. Now, let me tell you, this one hits home for a lot of people, especially if you're someone who enjoys the comfort of having a water bottle nearby, like by your bedside. I get it. It's convenient, it's familiar, and it feels like a simple, healthy habit. A lot of us do it. We fill up a bottle, leave it on the nightstand, and drink from it throughout the night or first thing in the morning. It feels like the right thing to do, doesn't it? But here's the thing that most people don't realize, and it's crucial to understand. Drinking water from plastic bottles that have been sitting out overnight, particularly in a warm room, can expose you to harmful chemicals that you don't want in your body. Sure, it might seem harmless, especially when the water looks clear and fresh. But here's the scary part. The plastic bottle, as innocent as it may seem, might be leaching harmful substances into the water while it just sits there. It doesn't matter how good the water looks on the surface. It's the unseen danger of chemicals that we have to worry about. One of the major culprits is something called BPA, which is commonly found in older or lower quality plastic bottles. Even if your bottle says BPA-free, don't breathe a sigh of relief just yet. Many plastics contain other similar chemicals that can do the same thing as BPA. They can interfere with your body's natural hormones. Now, I don't know about you, but when I think about my health, the last thing I want is something messing with my hormones. And here's the thing. As we get older, our bodies are already more sensitive, and our hormonal balance becomes more fragile. Maybe you're already dealing with thyroid issues, managing your blood pressure, or trying to keep your blood sugar levels stable. So, when these foreign chemicals sneak into your system, even in small amounts, they can throw a wrench in your body's ability to keep everything running smoothly. You might not notice the effects immediately, but over time, those chemicals can start to build up, and that's when the problems creep in. It's subtle at first. Maybe you start feeling tired all the time, or you get unusually moody, bloated, or just not quite right. And you're left wondering, why do I feel this way? What's going on? But the answer could be right in front of you. Let me share a story with you about a man named Stanley. Stanley's 78 years old, and he's always been diligent about drinking plenty of water. For years, he'd fill up a plastic bottle with tap water, leave it by his bed, and sip it throughout the night. It was his routine. In his mind, he was doing everything right. He thought he was making a healthy choice. But after a few months, things started to change. He began experiencing frequent headaches, his digestion was off, and no matter how much sleep he got, he always felt drained and exhausted. At first, it seemed like nothing had changed in his life. His diet was the same, he was taking his medications, but something felt off. He went to his doctor, who ran tests and didn't find anything alarming, which left Stanley feeling even more confused. It wasn't until he spoke with a nutritionist that the truth came out. The culprit was his plastic bottle. That bottle, refilled, reused, and sitting near a warm lamp every night, was the cause of his discomfort. The plastic had been leaching chemicals into his water all along, and over time, it was taking a toll on his body. The solution was simple. Stanley made the switch to a glass bottle, and instead of refilling the same bottle over and over, he started pouring fresh water each morning. And you know what happened? Within just a few weeks, his headache started to fade, his energy began to return, and he felt more like himself than he had in months. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that a single sip from a plastic bottle is going to ruin your health. No, that's not the case. But think about it. If you're drinking from that plastic bottle day after day, week after week, month after month, those tiny amounts of chemicals begin to accumulate. And you might not feel the effects immediately, but your body has to work extra hard to process them. Your liver, kidneys, and hormones, they all have to bear the burden of these chemicals. For older adults, every bit of extra stress on the body matters. It's not something we can afford to ignore. So, if you've got a plastic bottle sitting on your nightstand right now, I'm going to encourage you to make a small but powerful change. Upgrade to a glass or stainless steel bottle, and refill it fresh each morning. It might seem like such a simple habit shift, but trust me, it's a change that could make all the difference for your health. Imagine how much better your body will feel when it's not weighed down by those sneaky chemicals. It's an easy switch, but it could bring you a little more peace and a lot more vitality. And at the end of the day, isn't that what we all want? To feel good, to feel vibrant, and to know that we're doing everything we can to take care of ourselves as we age? Take that first step today. Your body will thank you. Mistake number 4. Drinking water on a very full or very empty stomach after certain medications. Now, let's take a moment to think about your typical morning. You roll out of bed, maybe still a little groggy from sleep, and the first thing you do is reach for your medication, followed by a glass of water. Seems like the right thing, doesn't it? It's almost automatic. After all, your doctor probably told you to take your meds with water. Simple, logical, even. But what's often overlooked, something that's rarely pointed out, is the how, when, and how much water you should drink, and more importantly, whether or not food should be part of the equation. That small, seemingly insignificant detail can make all the difference in the world, and it's so easy to miss. Let me explain. When you drink too much water too quickly, especially on an empty stomach right after taking your meds, it can lead to a range of unpleasant symptoms. Imagine feeling a sudden wave of nausea that takes you by surprise, or the bloating that makes your stomach feel like it's about to burst. Sometimes, it can even trigger heartburn. And here's the kicker. It's not just the water, but the timing and the empty stomach that's at fault. Your stomach lining might get irritated, and the medication may not be absorbed properly. It's a subtle but powerful disruption that your body might struggle to handle. On the flip side, if you've just had a large breakfast and wash your pills down with an oversized glass of water, that can interfere as well, especially with medications that are specifically meant to be taken on an empty stomach. The timing matters more than we often realize. Our digestive system, as resilient as it may seem, is delicate, more fragile than we often give it credit for. In the mornings, it's still waking up. Hormones are adjusting, acidity levels are fluctuating, and when you throw in a handful of pills followed by an excessive amount of water, it's like asking your system to take on more than it can handle. Your body might scream, "Hold on, I wasn't ready for that." And that's when the discomfort begins. Take Margaret, for example. She's 80, and for years, she had been following the same routine. Popping her thyroid pill, downing a big glass of water, waiting for a while, and then having breakfast. But one day, out of the blue, she started feeling queasy. Nothing had changed. No new medications, no new foods, Her blood work was perfectly fine. Yet, the nausea persisted. It didn't make sense. Finally, her doctor asked about her water intake. And that's when they figured it out. She had been drinking too much water, too fast, right after taking her pill. Her stomach couldn't keep up, and it was causing all the discomfort. After making a small, but significant change, Margaret's mornings transformed. Instead of gulping down a large glass of water, she started sipping just enough to swallow her pill. She waited 45 minutes before having breakfast, and just like that, the nausea was gone. Hare's follow-up blood work showed improvement. This wasn't some drastic change. It was a simple adjustment, but it made all the difference. Her medication worked better, and she began to feel more at ease during her mornings. So, what can you take away from this? Start by paying attention to how your body responds after taking your medication. If you're feeling queasy, foggy, or uncomfortable in the mornings, don't just chalk it up to your meds or your age. It could be the way you're taking them, particularly the way you're drinking your water. If you're constantly feeling uncomfortable, try smaller sips, space out your meals, and most importantly, don't overload your stomach with water right after you've taken your pills. Give your body a moment to adjust. Sometimes, it's not about changing everything. It's about being more gentle with your routine. By paying attention to those small details, you can improve how you feel and give yourself the gift of a peaceful, less stressful start to your day. Your health is precious, and it's worth taking a step back to think about these simple, everyday habits. You deserve mornings that feel good, that don't leave you battling discomfort or frustration. And with a little adjustment, you can make that happen. Mistake number 5. Skipping breakfast and replacing it with only water. Let's be honest here for a moment. There's so much advice out there today, and it can feel overwhelming, especially when it's coming from all corners of the internet. You've probably heard the trendy things people say, like, just drink water in the morning, skip breakfast, let your body fast. And while that may work for some people, especially younger individuals or those committed to strict health regimens, it doesn't always fit the needs of older adults. Trust me, starting your day with nothing but water and skipping breakfast can have a silent yet insidious effect on your body and energy levels over time. Think about it. When you wake up in the morning, your body has already been fasting for 8 to 10 hours during the night. During that time, your blood sugar has dropped, your energy stores are running on empty, and your brain is craving the nutrients it needs to fire on all cylinders. Your muscles also need that essential fuel to stay strong and nimble. So, when you drink just water without giving your body any food, you may feel fine at first, but as the hours go by, something starts to shift. You might feel tired, shaky, or mentally foggy. Maybe you're irritable, or your energy crashes mid-morning. It's easy to mistake these feelings for stress or lack of sleep, but the truth is, it could very well be the result of not nourishing yourself properly. Now, I'm not saying water isn't important. It is. Water helps rehydrate your body, and that's essential. But, let's be real here. Water can't replace the nutrients your body needs to truly thrive. Think about it. If you follow that glass of water with coffee and nothing else, you're not setting yourself up for success. You're stimulating your system without laying down a solid foundation, and over time, that will only make things harder. It's like trying to drive a car with no fuel in the tank. Sure, it'll start for a moment, but it's not going to last long. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Let me tell you about Alice. She's 69 years old, sharp as a tack, and fiercely independent. Alice had read a lot about intermittent fasting and thought it sounded like a simple way to streamline her mornings. So, she stopped eating breakfast and just had water until noon. At first, she noticed a little weight loss and thought, this is working. But before long, something began to shift inside her. Her mood started to dip, her memory began to fade, and she even found herself repeating things without realizing it. Her daughter, ever the perceptive one, noticed the change and gently suggested Alice see her doctor. The doctor's checkup didn't reveal any serious health issues, but it did reveal the problem. Alice wasn't giving her body the fuel it needed in the morning. Her brain was running on empty, and it was showing. Once Alice decided to add just a small breakfast, nothing extravagant, just a boiled egg, a slice of toast, and some fruit, everything started to change. It was almost magical. Her energy returned, her mind was clearer, and she felt steadier on her feet. It was as though a switch had flipped, and she was more like herself than she had been in months. I want you to take this in. Less is not always better, especially when it comes to food in the morning. Yes, water is essential to a healthy routine. But your body deserves more than just hydration to get going. It craves real, tangible fuel, something that nourishes your muscles, sharpens your mind, and keeps you strong. A little protein, a bit of fiber, something that gives you the energy to take on the day. If you've been skipping breakfast, thinking it's somehow helping you, I challenge you to try something different tomorrow. Add just a little something to your routine. Maybe a handful of nuts, a small bowl of oatmeal, or even a fruit smoothie. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel when you give your body what it's asking for. Suddenly, the fog lifts, your mood stabilizes, and you have the clarity to tackle whatever comes your way. And here's the thing I want you to reflect on. It's fascinating how something as simple as water, something we've been drinking for years, can feel so different as we grow older. It's not that water has changed. No, it's us. Our bodies have become wiser, more attuned to what they need, and they ask us to listen more closely than before. Our bodies are speaking to us, but do we hear them? This conversation isn't about making you feel afraid or telling you what to do. It's about awareness. Being in tune with the small things that can make a huge difference in our daily lives. When we start to notice the subtle shifts, like feeling bloated, anxious, or just off in the mornings, it's not always a sign that something is drastically wrong. Often, it's a gentle nudge that maybe, just maybe, your routine needs a small tweak. So, maybe tomorrow you'll decide to switch it up. Maybe you'll choose room temperature water instead of cold water. Maybe you'll slow down, savor each sip, rather than gulping it down too quickly. Maybe you'll trade in that old plastic bottle for a fresh glass one. Because why not treat yourself with a little extra care? Or maybe, just maybe, you'll pair your water with a simple breakfast. Just enough to fuel your body, give it what it deserves, and start your day off strong. So, what have you learned so far? Think about how small changes, like adding just a little bit of nourishment in the morning, can make a world of difference in how we feel and function throughout the day. I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that you're going to start practicing in your own life? Drop it in the comments below. Let's start a conversation and support each other on this journey to feeling our best. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insightful content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.